And this is about the ultimate grief a person can experience, that of the loss of their child.
I'm Tanya Loduca, Tyler's mom. Well, we're here meeting our Birdie. We get our Birdie for this weekend. She's our new addition to our family. After losing our Ty, my son, he was 22 years old. This just happens to be one of his very favorite beaches we're sitting at right now. But yeah, Birdie's here to help us heal and try to move forward in our grief process.
Birdie, born and raised at 4E Kennels, selected at 8 weeks old to do this kind of work. Specifically, we don't know when we choose a puppy. We were actually kind of struggling of what to do with Birdie because she attaches so deeply to her human. A healthy attachment, but a very intense attachment. So when Tanya was nominated to get a Healing Hearts dog to help her navigate this grief, it instantly just felt right. And it felt right for Birdie, which is so important to me, to honor our dogs, listen to their voice, give them the right person too. And I will tell you, we have done a lot of giveaways, and I wish I could convey, I just need you to trust me on this. I hope through pictures, I hope through following the story, how palpable the emotion was, the connection was, the energy was around Tanya and Birdie.
Ty was a great kid. He was never in any trouble. He loved life. He loved these beaches. He loved San Diego. Anything outdoors, plants, animals. He had 2 pugs that he adored, Frank and Lulu, his little sister. He loved work. He was such a good employee. He was a good brother. He was a violinist. He loved music. He loved cooking. Loved food, adventure. So what started it all is that he really felt like he felt brain damaged, is what he told me. He felt like he couldn't think, he couldn't remember, he wasn't having emotional responses to anything. That's how it started, which led to what he would call unbearable pain in his head that radiated down into his arms. And somehow doctors still called it all brain fog. And just, I guess you can get disassociation with depression, and they just said he was dealing with disassociation depression, which he adamantly denied because he's never been depressed. He came home feeling like all that had passed, but nothing as far as his emotion or his thinking or his memory got any better, and it actually just continued to get worse, where he really just almost couldn't function. 15 days in the hospital, 3 visits to the ER, urgent care visits, doctor visits, and we just kept saying, they said, Ty, give us a really good reason. That's what his primary said. Like, give us a really good reason to send you to neurology. And we had to fight for a referral. Literally 6 months of suffering. The last 2 were the worst, but we finally got his referral to neurology the week before he died. So while he was in the hospital, they didn't want to do it because they just kept saying depression, and I was very adamant that they couldn't just, without doing further testing, label him with depression. So we fought for an MRI and we got it. And they said, good news, we have a diagnosis, his brain MRI is completely normal, and we just think it's depression. Very atypical, they said, very atypical, rare type of depression. And things just didn't get better. And a lot of what I struggle with is watching him suffer, and then, of course, at the end, Ty didn't come home one night, which has never happened in his entire life. He was always in touch and he always answered texts. So we knew something was wrong. Either he was hurt or he was lost or just something. We knew something was wrong. So we filed a missing person report, and it just took him about a day before they found him. Sorry. I feel like she's my saving grace and she's my survival, because every day without Ty is so hard and it's so lonely, and especially when I don't have Bella with me, I can't stand being alone because Ty lived with me. He never left home. And just having her comfort and companionship, and I think she already feels my need, just how close and snuggly and cuddly she is. Just to keep me going and get me out of the house and help me focus on something else. I think in grief, you tend to replay the events over and over and over again, which is kind of like torture. So I think Birdie is my survival, honestly.
And in the end, Ty didn't die from depression.
He didn't. He knew he didn't have it. We all knew he didn't have that. He was such a happy kid. It just all happened so fast. And
the MRI actually showed.
It wasn't until they were doing his autopsy and the pathologist, she told us it would take a couple weeks of having his brain in formalin before she could even look at it. And right away she said when she got into it, it just popped right out. There was a tumor. Yeah. So she asked them to relook at the MRI, and sure enough, it was on the MRI. And not just the tumor, there was other things like around that area. He had edema and swelling and irritation and a lot of things that just lead to shutdown of the brain, essentially. And Ty knew it. When they told us his MRI was normal, he almost like threw a fit. He's like, no, like something's wrong, like we all did. We're like, how messed up is it that we wish we saw the tumor, because who wants to have a tumor? But that would have been an answer to what was going on. I'm just very thankful for you guys. Very thankful for Birdie, and not just what she means to me, but to Bella and to Kaylee when she's coming. I mean, we're just getting to know her, and I can already see how amazing she is.